Good evening, students. We are going to today discuss the topic of corporate level strategies. We are going to see how do organizations employ various kinds of corporate strategies. We are going to discuss the concentration strategies, vertical integration, horizontal integration, related, unrelated diversification, and retrenchment. Now, if you see here, this is the total mind map or the so-called family tree of strategic alternatives which a company can pursue at the corporate level. Now, this is the whole totality of strategies that you have to do as an aspect in the third unit of this course. Now, what are the basic functions of corporate strategies? While a company makes corporate strategies, the company is either trying to allocate resources between the different businesses of a firm. Alternatively, it also makes decisions whether to transfer resources from one business to the other. A big company has a wide portfolio of business. So decisions have to be made on what way to manage or what way to nurture a portfolio. Which one to be pursued further, which one to be enhanced, which one to be trimmed. All these are strategic decisions taken by the top management. The end result of all of these strategic decisions has to be to create value across the business portfolio and to create profits. Now, this kind of a choice of direction that a company undertakes can be for a single business or for diverse business that a company handles. The ultimate objective is that the firm attains the kind of mission, objective, and the various goals that they have set up. Now, strategy professor Gluck has identified 4 strategic alternatives: stability, expansion, retrenchment, pursued either independently or as a combination. Now let's come to stability. Stability is a strategy which is undertaken when there is less risk, when people are comfortable with things as they are, the market is stable, the company products are being responded to favorably, there is no kind of threat in the environment. So maybe we can consolidate business at times when a rapid expansion has taken place in the firm. Even after that, we practice stability so as to consolidate the actions that we have taken. Now, for example, a packaged tea company, Tata Tea or Red Label or Lipton, whichever, right? Now, they are sold in the market to the consumers at a specific consumer price. But when they are sold to institutional buyers, like the armed forces canteens, they are sold at a different rate. This rate is lower than the consumer market because the amount of sale that this institutional buyer does is far higher. And companies would also like to have such kind of large corporate buyers because this kind of a bulk buying by these buyers enables the company to attain market efficiency and economies of scale. Now, there are 3 types of stability strategies: no change, profit, and pause and proceed with caution. What each of this is, we'll look at as we go further. No change strategy, a conscious decision not to do anything. This decision should not be taken just because of an inertia or a resistance to change. However, a conscious decision not to change things the way they are going is also a very big decision. This decision can be taken when the firm does not foresee any new competitors, any great substitutes are not emerged in the market, the external environment is comfortable for the organization and is quite predictable, the organization is stable. Only in such cases can consciously top management undertake to take no change strategy. Then there is a profit strategy. This strategy is taken up when organizations assess the situation. They assume that there is a short-term situation, and this situation will go away with time. Now, during this short period, major drastic changes need not be taken. Profitability can be maintained by short-term strategies like reducing investment, not undertaking further investment, maybe reducing certain costs, probably if necessary be certain kind of marketing costs or HR costs or training costs, enhancing the productivity, increasing the prices, or if not to increase prices, reduced the kind of discounts or something or markups that you are giving. Now, such kind of a case or a specific situation could be due to industry slowdown, economic recession, government attitude, or competitive pressure. If there are too many competitors new emerged in the market, there is no need to suddenly take any action. You can visualize the situation. Meanwhile, just let it go as it is. Maybe you can cut down some market expense or cut expense somewhere, enhance somewhere. Take for example the current situation. The whole world is facing a COVID lockdown. India specifically is right now undertaken a 3 weeks lockdown. Now, this kind of a situation has never happened before. Now, in this point of time, this is a situation that will go away with time. So, companies right now are only pursuing a so-called profit strategy to be able to sell whatever is available with them, because production has also been hit. But this is not going to stay permanently. It will go away in some time. So, in this time to sustain profitability, they have reduced marketing expenses. There is no need to do marketing at this point of time. Right? There are reduced investments in the market. No further investments into new technology or something is being undertaken. Productivity needs to be enhanced, and there's no need of offering too much markup in the market, because whatever is available is going to be sold because there is not much available in the market. At this point of time, what firms have to look at is whatever profits can be had reasonably be just taken and wait for the situation to go away. Pause or proceed with caution. This is undertaken when we try to test market a product or a service and test the ground before we march ahead with a full-fledged strategy. Before we launch a full-scale production, we do a test market. In the case of a company called ID Fresh, which is now almost a 100 crore company, they launched the idli and vada batters, which had no artificial preservatives, no additives, no flavoring agents, and they had a small shelf life. Now, before they launched a full-scale production, before these four brothers who got together to launch this company ID Fresh, they did a test market. They launched the idli and vada batters or idli and dosa batters in plastic packaging, which was unbranded, and they sold about 20 packets through retailers. It just got off the shelf quickly in the same day. Then they moved on to 40, to 80, to 90, to 100, and then 200. When we were able to successfully sell 200 packets in a day in the market, then they decided that our product has an acceptance, and then they launched a full-scale production and they launched the company ID Fresh. You can see various videos of this company on YouTube. A famous video of YouTube on ID Fresh is Anybody Can Vada. Very classically, they have used innovation and they have an ID vada batter, and you can make the absolutely shaped vada which has a perfect hole in it. But test marketing a product is very important. Dabur Chyawanprash did similar kind of a test marketing for its honey-based Chyawanprash before they launched that honey-based Chyawanprash, because it has nutritive benefits, but because for its very different kind of a taste, Chyawanprash doesn't usually go well with the kids. So they launched a honey-based Chyawanprash and did a test market before that to about 1,000 customers or so before they launched a full-scale production of the honey Chyawanprash. These kind of strategies are First pause, do a test market and then proceed, but with caution. Take consumer preferences. Such kind of pause and proceed with caution strategies are also undertaken before further expansion of markets or products is taken up. Then we have retrenchment strategies. Retrenchment is followed by an organization when it aims at contracting activities, which means reducing activities. We look at either a substantial reduction in the scope of business or in terms of withdrawing from certain customer groups, withdrawing from certain technologies, singly or jointly. The objective is to improve overall performance. Now, retrenchment is done when the environment is threatening. When you can have stability by identifying unprofitable businesses and maybe retrenching them. It does not mean to do away with them, but reducing them at that point of time or not doing further investment into them and looking at how to reorganize it. Probably because a specific division or a specific product line is making continuous losses and these losses are hurting the bottom line of the business. Retrenchment is of three types: turnaround, divestment and liquidation. In turnaround, the aspect is to reverse a negative trend. This happens when you see that there is a consistent negative cash flow, negative profit, declining market share or mismanagement. When we want to do a turnaround, we want to make sure that we enhance the efficiency of our cost. We focus on core activities. We build a leadership within, undertake the building of a future of the company, retrench certain assets and bring about cultural change. If you look at the case, the way Levi's had been turned around when Chip Bergh joined Levi's as a CEO in 2011. Levi's had seen profits of somewhere like 7 billion per annum. And after that, 2000 to about 2011, they did not see average profits more than 4.1 billion per annum. And this consistent trend for 10 years made the board think, what is wrong with Levi's? They brought a new CEO, Chip Bergh, from Procter & Gamble, that point of time, and gave him the task, trusted him with the task rather, of turning around the brand Levi's. Levi's has been a good brand, an upmarket brand, but somehow that is not reflecting in its profits in 2011. And what Chip Bergh did was to turn around the brand Levi's in a span 3 years of time. Levi's had something like a 2 billion debt on which they were paying interest which was higher than their advertising budget. Levi's was also having an innovation lab somewhere in Turkey, whereas the headquarters of Levi's were in San Francisco. Chip Bergh undertook to meet the top 11 people who were 18 or 11 people who had to report to him and found that they were absolutely useless. In the next 18 months, he fired all of them except one and built a world-class top executive team which could build the future of Levi's and take it as being a very successful brand. Chip Bergh closed the innovation lab in Turkey and shifted the innovation lab just about 4 blocks away to a building in San Francisco itself, because Chip Bergh found that in such kind of an industry, when the designers visit the innovation lab once in 6 months, new things, new stuff, life is not poured out into the brand. When Chip Bergh asked employees, how do you think the company is doing? And majority of the employees said, very well. That surprised Chip Bergh because this organization needed a cultural change. They do not even know that the balance sheet of the company is not showing profits. So, Chip Bergh created a 4-part turnaround strategy. He went and met customer groups. He found out what do they feel about Levi's. He found that people are wearing yoga pants to restaurants but not Levi's. Levi's was like a live-in brand, not something kind of upmarket brand probably. He spent about 220 million for 20 years of NFL stadium rights. And the profits that accrue from this marketing strategy in the next 2 years, they paid off 1 billion of the 2 billion debt. He undertook many other such actions. For those interested, you can read in Harvard Business School article Levi's turnaround strategy, where Chip Bergh has himself written how he turned around the brand Levi's and enjoyed doing it. Chip Bergh continues to be the CEO of Levi's and has very successfully reignited life into the brand. Many successful brands have been turned around by careful retrenchment and then turnaround actions. To manage the turnaround, as I gave you the example, you need a very good CEO with a good advisory support and a wonderful team to turn a sick organization into a healthy one. At one point of time, when the Steel Authority of India Limited was not doing well, that point of time a new CEO was appointed to SAIL, and this CEO has been credited with crafting a successful cultural turnaround of SAIL, which continues to be a Navratna now even. Divestment. Divestment is called cutback, which means liquidating a portion of business. Maybe a major division, maybe a minor division. And why is it done is when a specific division is proving to be a mismatch and maybe it is not getting integrated. There are negative cash flows into that business. So companies very cautiously take a decision of retrenching, divesting, selling away. Divestment is also called divestiture or setback, cutback. It can be merged with another organization, and the decision to divest is a painful one. It does not mean the organization has necessarily failed, but it definitely means that the organization is no longer wanting to put more money into it or put it financially or managerially, and selling that portion outright would be a better strategy. Take for example, the Tata Group in 2008 created a partnership with the NTT Docomo Company of Japan and started a company called Tata Docomo. In 2008 November, the Japanese company NTT Docomo invested 12,740 crore INR in the Tata Teleservices at rupees 117 a share at that point of time for a 26.5% stake in the company. Now, Tata Docomo was launched as a wholly owned subsidiary of Tata Teleservices, and it received the license to operate GSM services in 19 telecom sectors in 2009. By November 2010, Tata Docomo became the first private sector telecom company to launch 34 3G services in India, and it had 49 million users by the end of March 2017. Coming to divestment, in October 2017, Bharti Airtel announced a merger with Tata Teleservices and the acquisition of Tata Docomo. By July 2019, all the mobile users of Tata Docomo were merged into Bharti Airtel. So in this way, the whole Tata Group divested that division of Tata Teleservices, Tata Docomo, to Bharti Airtel. Liquidation. Liquidation is the last resort. When the organization cannot be turned around or it cannot be divested, probably there are no buyers, it is an